Join me on the golf course today as my brother James Coe and I are riding in the golf cart. I know we're not actually playing golf, but that's because I'm not very good at golf right now. Maybe someday if I get better, I'll show you something on the golf course. James is a physical therapist, and in my opinion, he's worth his weight in gold. At the end of the video, I'll tell you why.
I'm here with Dr. Ken Moses. We're taking a day of little golf.
Trying.
Yeah, just getting our bodies loosened up. But you know, so Dr. Moses,
Yeah.
what some of the people who are listening right now are going to be mainly physical therapists and
Okay.
occupational therapists, and I don't know if you interact much with them.
I do. I actually interact with physical therapists when I'm doing inpatient care on a regular basis. In fact, I'll tell you something. As far as doctors are concerned, when we're in the hospital and we're dealing with, the aged patient, and this happens every single day, I'll see an elderly patient, 70, 80 years old, and patient comes in for pneumonia, and this is an 80-year-old woman who lives at home alone. She lives at home alone, she comes in, she gets the pneumonia, and she's weak. And as a result of having the pneumonia, she falls to the ground, and she can't get up. Calls 911, they bring her in. And I said, so what's going on? And she's like, well, I couldn't get up. And I was like, what else? And then I ended up doing a full examination, and I find out that the lady actually has pneumonia. And the pneumonia, the infection, made her body weak. I'd start treating the pneumonia, and then literally in a day or two, she starts to improve from the pneumonia, but she's still weak. She lives at home alone. She wants to go back home alone. I can't send her home. But I don't know what to do. What do? I ask the physical therapist, hey, can you give me some advice? Can you evaluate the patient? Let me know if the patient is able to perform her instrumental activities of daily living at home. Can I send her back home safely? And so what happens is that PTs are extremely important to us in the hospital, because it's what you guys do that helps us provide the right care to the patient. If you're not there to evaluate that patient, I don't know what to do.
Very nice words from Dr. Ken Moses.
Yeah. I'm reading now to make sure I get this right. A physical therapist is a licensed medical professional who examines, diagnoses, and treats humans, from babies to the elderly, anyone who has a problem with movement or movement-related issues or pain. A physical therapist will develop and initiate a treatment plan which will promote the ability to move, reduce pain, restore function, and prevent disability. I actually took this from the American Physical Therapy website, which gives a description of a physical therapist. So, now I'm not reading. Why are they worth their weight in gold? Why is my friend James Coe so amazing? Well, because a couple of years back, I was attending a wedding that James is also attending. And it was about a 3 or 4 month period of time where I wasn't really exercising. No going to the gym, no running, no yoga, nothing. And it doesn't take long when you're above the age of 25 for your body to kind of slow down, become weaker, more susceptible to damage and disrepair. And that's what happened. On this particular day, I had dropped my wallet on the ground. I bent over to pick up the wallet, and when I did so, I must have just barely twisted to the right, or maybe it was to the left, I don't remember. But it was just a small enough move that one of my back muscles, which had become weak from 3 or 4 months of not being used, went into sudden and extreme spasm. The spasm was so bad that I actually, when I reached down to pick up the wallet, I couldn't even stand up straight, so I just let myself fall to the ground. I laid on the ground for a minute or two, and I think that James came along and looked at me and he said, hey buddy, Brother Ken, what's going on? What happened? And as an anatomist, as somebody who knows a little bit about the human body, I said, James, I think I pulled or strained one of my right lumbar paraspinal muscles. And so he came over, and remember, he's a trained professional. He assessed my spine and sure enough made a similar diagnosis. He was a little bit more specific with the actual muscle group that was strained. And when he made the diagnosis, after performing an initial assessment, he said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of procedures. I'm going to try to see what I can do so that you'll be able to make it through this wedding, because I was in the wedding. And it wasn't my wedding, but I was in the wedding, standing up as one of the groomsmen. So James had me lie down. I don't know if it was a table or ground, I don't remember. And he performed a couple of maneuvers, and then he did another, what he called a release, a muscle release, I think. Maybe in another video, I'll ask him exactly what he did, and then he'll talk us through it, might even demonstrate. And it was maybe 5 minutes of whatever the magic it was that he did. And after he did that, I was able to stand up. I was able to take a deep breath. Why is that a big deal? Because when it first happened, I couldn't even take a deep breath. The pain was so bad that taking a deep breath caused so much pain, I could only breathe shallowly. So he did his thing. I was able to breathe. I was able to bend. I wasn't really able to twist that much, so I was not totally fixed. But he basically said that the little procedures that he did would put me on a road to recovery. He gave me some instructions on exercises that I would need to do over the next several days to weeks. And he told me to come back and see him again for further treatment as needed. And to make a long story short, it totally worked. I was able to stand up in the wedding. I was able to walk and do everything that I needed to do so that I looked pretty normal. And that, my dear friends, is one of the reasons why I think that physical therapists, good, really good physical therapists like my brother James Coe, are worth their weight in gold.